Facebook Live, and thanks for joining us. To those of you that are clicking in, we're just getting started. We're going to be talking today about RPA, Robotic Process Automation, and with us is NICE's Karen Inbarg, product marketer for RPA. Say hello, Karen.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining.
How about a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Karen Inbarg. I'm a product marketing manager with the NICE Advanced Process Automation Solutions. I've been with NICE for the past 6 years and in the high-tech industry for over 20 years now with leading high-tech firms.
Well, thanks. Should we jump in?
Sure.
Great. To level set, I think what we want to get accomplished today is to give folks an introduction to RPA. I know we're planning to sit down and talk a bit more technical in the future, and I do think we have time today for a demo, so let's get moving. Give us the elevator pitch for RPA.
Sure. So RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation, and it's basically software that we install either on a desktop or on a server, and it imitates the user desktop activity. So anything you can do with your desktop, manually, the software can do as well. So if I come in the morning and I log into different applications and I type in data and I copy and paste information between applications, RPA can actually do all that for me. And it can do it much faster than I can without doing any mistakes. So that's RPA for you. And actually there are different flavors of RPA that you can use. So we have the attended robotic automation. The unattended, sorry, I wanted to start with that. So unattended robotic automation is, as the name implies, it's complete automations without any human intervention. So we would take a process, automate it from start to finish, without any human involvement. But there are some processes that do need the human intervention, and for those we have what we call attended or desktop automation. And that's software that we install on the user's desktop, and it basically helps the employee perform better, be more productive, also helps with some next best action type of advice with quick links to information. So it's not only about desktop automation, but it's also about desktop guidance that we can provide to employees. And then there's another complementary solution to robotic automation, which is what we call desktop analytics. And that's software that actually recognizes the automation opportunities. So it sees what you're doing with your desktop during the day, and it knows the lengthy processes, the one that would benefit more from automations, and the one that you do most of the day, do a lot of times during the day. So unattended with the robotic automation, attended desktop automation, and desktop analytics.
So when I think robotics, I think big machines, I think manufacturing. Would I be right?
Well, it's funny because a lot of people think that when you employ robots in your organization, you'll be coming into the office and seeing robots sitting instead of people. So that's not really the case, right? Again, it's software. So we install it either on the desktop or on a back-end server, and it just does bits and pieces of your work. It can automate complete processes, but it's software. It's not machines.
Is this about replacing humans?
Well, not at all. Actually, organizations employ robotic automation in order to, first of all, increase productivity. Because robots, they're much faster. They're typically 4 to 5 times faster than an employee, so they would do the same process a lot faster. And also, they work around the clock 24/7. They don't take any breaks.
Right.
So if you think about your productivity levels, they just go up the roof when you employ robots to do that. So productivity is definitely the main reason why you would employ robots. And then the second one is to increase quality, because robots don't make mistakes. We're human, we make mistakes a lot, which is fine, but a robot would always do the same work in the same way. It won't, miscalculate, it won't take the wrong piece of data or copy it into the wrong field. It would always do it in the same way, so processes are really done flawlessly. I guess the only reason why a robot won't restart and the robot has to wait for the application to fully. And also another big benefit is scalability. So with robots, you can really easily scale your productivity. For example, if you have, holiday season, or a promotion that you want to really execute quickly in the back end, it's really easy to add more robot and more processing power that way in order to meet those high demands during those specific periods.
And Karen, I know I've heard you talk before a little bit about the impact of RPA on our customers, their satisfaction, those kinds of things. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So, if you think about a contact center, so contact center employees, they have so much going on, right? And they really try to attend to the customers as much as they can, but they have a lot of desktop activities they need to do as well. If we can relieve them from all the routine, the mundane processes or the mundane tasks that they do, then they can really focus on the customer, on creating customer relationships, on increasing the customer loyalty. That's the sort of activities that you want them concentrating on. Also, if you talk about the back office, instead of doing those very routine, repetitive processes that a robot can do, your back office employees can do the investigation, do the more complex activities that really require their creative, human, out-of-the-box thinking. That's what you hire people for.
Right.
And you would always need to hire people to do those things. So definitely, customer service is improved by, in an instant once you employed robots. And actually, we're seeing organizations that don't employ automation today, they're left behind because they don't have that means of improving customer service so quickly.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the pains and the gains. Who benefits from RPA?
Wow, it's everyone. Really, it's the organization for the reasons that I counted. It's also the end customer. It's also the employees. A lot of the things we do today, all of us, are boring and not really interesting. Sometimes I say, you pay me to do other things, not these things. Please, let a robot do this. I don't need to be doing this stuff. So employees, when you tell them, listen, all those boring tasks, we'll take them away from you so your day can be more engaging, more interesting, more fun for you. So employees are really happy with this type of solution.
Sorry, I was just going to say, is there one particular vertical that benefits more than another?
Not at all. Robotic automation is actually fit for every vertical out there, and literally we have customers from every vertical. I mean, you name it. It's retail, utilities, travel industry, insurance, banking, telcos. Everyone will benefit from robotic automation. And also, there are different departments within the organization, so it's not only about the contact center or the back office, but also shared services organizations like IT, like HR, like the financial organizations. They also have a lot of those routine, repetitive, mundane processes that are, very easily taken over with robots, and then just allowing them to do the more value-added activities.
So can you give us an example of how one of our customers is using automation today?
Sure. So one of our customers is in the banking industry. They have a contact center that deals with fraud. So they get a fraud alert. They need to investigate. They need to call the customer and say, listen, there's a suspicious activity happening with your credit card. Is that you? And maybe they need to stop the credit card. So that's a very sensitive type of process to do. And they had a 5-minute SLA that they needed to meet from the moment the fraud alert came in to the actual call they made to the customer. And they weren't ever meeting that 5-minute SLA.
Wow.
And then when they looked in the process and they realized that out of a 12-minute process, 8 minutes were used to wrap up the previous process. And that totally doesn't make sense. So we completely automated those 8 minutes and took those away from the process, so those agents can concentrate on the investigation, on calling the customer, and now they're meeting the 5-minute SLA 100% of the time.
Wow.
And that's with the robotic automation, but we didn't stop there. The investigation of the case, that's also a place where we can benefit with desktop automation. So we're actually helping those agents investigate the case better by popping up some helpful tips for them, and that helped to reduce the full process by 82%. So the handle time was reduced significantly. They're meeting their SLAs. Very happy customer.
And this gets to saving the customer money and increasing their customer satisfaction.
Exactly.
So is this a plug-and-play type of approach? I mean, does it require professional services? And what are the implementation options?
Well, so, when a customer decides to employ robotic process automation, then typically NICE would come in. We would do a discovery session together with the customer to, first of all, identify the best automation opportunities, the best processes to start automating. And then we would shadow implement the first implementation with the customer so they get a feel of how this is done. We also provide them with training. So they're trained on our automation design software, so they know how to create their own automations going forward. And actually, most of our mature customers today, they have their own center of excellence. They're very self-sufficient with our automation studio software, and they can be, very responsive to the organization needs as those come up. So that's one option. Another option is also to work with one of our partners. We have a large list of partners that our customers can work with in order to take consulting services on change management, in order to take some implementation services and maintenance services going forward. So the options are all there.
So let's jump into this demo that we're going to see. Can you do a bit of a setup for us, let folks know what we're going to actually see?
Sure, happy to do that. So this demo is a real process of an accounts payable person. So what you'll see now is a process that an accounts payable person does manually every day. It goes through something like 30 steps. It takes them about 2 minutes to perform. It's extremely repetitive, extremely routine. No heavy thinking that needs to go into it, and this is a perfect process for automation. So what you'll see, it'll probably go by pretty quickly because we've automated it, but the accounts payable person gets an invoice from one of the vendors, and they need to upload the invoice data into the Oracle system, into the Oracle application. They need to validate a few points, and then they finish the process. So that's what you'll see now.
This is the 30 steps. Or...
That's the 30 steps. Okay. So I'm going to click on one of these cute robot icons right here, and the process is kicking off. The invoice has opened. I don't know if you noticed, but this is a scanned invoice that opened on my screen. The robot reads the information from the document, enters it into the Oracle application, goes through those steps exactly like I would have done manually. Now, if this is an end-to-end unattended process, you wouldn't be seeing it on a screen like we are now. This is just for the demo purposes. It will probably be happening in the back end. But this is what it looks like. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, 23
seconds. What manually would take about 2 minutes to perform.
And this is an example of when everything works well and there's no human intervention.
Yes.
Or
yes. So sometimes, most of the times, to be honest, there are some points in the process where you do need the person to be involved.
This is the unattended
and
piece.
that's where the unattended piece comes in, with desktop automation really comes to the rescue and helps with the more complex scenarios. So let me show you the same example, but when something goes wrong or needs a personal attention. Okay. So it's, again, the same process exactly as we did before. So I have an OCR system right here. OCR is optical character recognition, and that's a piece of software that knows to read from scanned documents. Okay, so it tried to recognize all the data points that it needs from that scanned documents, but then desktop automation gave me this call out because some of the data points weren't clear enough. As you can see, this is what it looks like in that scanned documents, and it looks a little bit blurred.
Right.
So the OCR system wasn't sure that it got it correctly.
And the yellow part, is that?
And this yellow part is actually desktop automation highlighting the area where the OCR system gave it the low score because it wasn't sure it recognized it correctly. So I can go into this call out as the accounts payable administrator. I can take a look at the blurred information here, and there's actually a mistake. It recognized the name of the vendor with an I instead of with an E, so I'm going to go ahead and correct that right there. I'll review the rest of the information, and I'll hit approve, and then automation keeps going. and the process keeps moving along. So there are many points where you do need the human intervention and the human eye, the human professionalism to review and then, take action.
Right.
And that's what we saw right now.
This allows the employee to focus on where there are real issues that need to be solved.
Exactly, and also employ their special skills, what they're actually trained to do, not just copying and pasting information. And actually, there's another point where I need to be involved because, as you can see, this call out says that the invoice doesn't match the purchase order amount.
Okay.
So this actually requires some investigation that the robot can't do yet. They can't do that. So I would need to either call the vendor and ask them to change the amount, or the initiator of that PO within the organization. And once I do that, I've solved the issue, and I'll kick off the robot to continue and complete the process.
Wow, so this is all some really exciting stuff. I mean, where's this all headed? I mean, are we talking artificial intelligence?
Yes, that's where this is going. So the next phase and the thing that the market is talking about now is cognitive automation and artificial intelligence and machine learning. These are all words that you hear all the time. And because these robots, they do exactly as they're told. And as you can see with some of the more complex issues, you still need the person to resolve the issue. But as robots get more intelligent with the cognitive automation and you get them more humanized, you humanize their behavior, then they're able to solve much more complex scenarios. And today we've tackled that by integrating our robots with third-party solutions like chatbots, like text analytics solution. And NICE actually has its own text analytics solution to offer here in order to be able to automate based on unstructured data. So unstructured data can be emails, can be text messages, can even be voice calls. So we can extract the relevant information we need from those interactions, from that unstructured data, and let the robot execute based on that piece of data. So that's something that we're striving towards, and that we're taking big steps in that direction.
So it all sounds a bit futuristic. Are we talking years down the road, or is this shorter term?
No. This is actually happening now. These are integrations that are happening these days. So yeah, this is all in the near-term future.
So I want to know more. Folks listening in want to know more. Where can folks get more information?
So there are a lot of places where you can read information or see this piece of software, robotic process automation. I recommend our website. You can see it in the comment box. It's nice.com/RPA. So there's a lot of information that you can download from the website. You can ask questions, contact us. We also have an email address that people listening in can write us emails. We'll be more than happy to respond. That's rpa@nice.com. I think that's also in the comment box. We have a community that you can chat with peers and ask questions and get ideas. Lots of places that you can get information from.
Awesome. So I want to see a demo. I want to talk to you a little bit more. Are you going to be out and about anytime in the near future?
Yes, we are. So actually next week, on August 1st and 2nd, we'll be in the Intelligent Automation Conference happening in Chicago. So you can look that up and come see us there. We have a demo. We have a very nice session on the main stage. So I'll be there. Come say hello. Ask all the questions you want. We'll be happy to assist.
All right, thanks, Karen. So, folks, next week we're going to be talking about cloud, and I think following that will be performance management. So, looking forward to you all joining us there. Karen, again, thanks for joining us, and everyone, we hope the rest of your day is nice.